Stocktwits Nation. We got a midweek check-in for you today with Tom Bruni and Olivia Vosnenko, aka the Voz. Voz. Is it the Voz? Am I adding the Voz? I'm adding the, aren't I?
I actually prefer La Voz.
La Voz.
La Voz.
La Voz is back by popular demand, as is Tom. Tom's traveling the world. He's in Toronto. He's on CNN. He's everywhere. Thank you for taking the time, Tom.
Yeah, of course. I'm not here by popular demand. I'm just here, so I'm excited.
By someone's demand. Our producer demanded it. So, guys, I feel like there's a lot of surprises yesterday. It's kind of that's the theme. You had Oracle, but I want to start with the Hood Summit. I don't know if you guys are following this. I feel like they kind of overshadowed Apple's event. Did you guys follow some of the news coming out of Vegas from Robinhood last night? I can also
So definitely
a couple of the things, just so if people missed it at home, Robinhood's adding a social feed, which eToro has had, Public had, and then Sunset. A few other apps had this as well, but that's going to be very interesting. A few people noted that Vlad Tenev on his social feed had invested in Opendoor, so the Opendoor army is happy about that. Shout out to the marketing team. That was a nice little move. And also you can short now on Robinhood. You can short stocks. I think there was some other things too. But Tom, we've been tracking these brokerages. What did you make of their event?
Yeah, I think this is just a continuation of them kind of furthering their offering for the super active trader. Right? We're seeing the retail investor being more important than ever, and they're leaning into that. It shows kind of it validates kind of what we're seeing at Stocktwits, and that social is an important component of how people invest today. And to see an entrant like Robinhood come into the market and say, "Hey, we're going to take this seriously," is kind of a head nod to all of the things that we're doing at Stocktwits. So that's exciting. The other piece is, this is just a continuation of the expansion of the tools that they've been building for traders. I mean, shorting, I'll be honest, I didn't even realize you couldn't short on Robinhood yet. There's a variety of ways. You can use options, you can use their event contracts, but now like traditional shorting is there. So, to your point about this overshadowing the Apple event, it just kind of is a sign of the times, right? Robinhood was just added to the S&P 500. Interactive Brokers was added a couple months ago. This is the time where markets and activity around markets is at record levels, and so we're seeing that reflected in where people are paying attention and how these stocks are performing.
Vaz, I want to get your thoughts because I feel like these are features built for someone like you. You have a following, you do content, but you also, an active trader. Do you have any takes from what we saw out of Vlad and Co last night?
I'm just thinking when Mark Zuckerberg is going to make a financial news sharing, commenting app.
Yeah, you think he's gonna go that way? I mean,
We're gonna
X
get,
is yeah.
it's gonna get zucked. So
Would
I'm
you
buying Meta
trade
on this
stocks on
news.
Facebook? You could trade Cracker Barrel on your Facebook
Yes,
feed.
exactly.
That's what you can do.
Yeah, and then whatever shares you don't want, you can try to sell on Facebook Marketplace. That'll be their
Oh my gosh.
secondary
Wait.
Okay, I don't have
secondary
Facebook.
offering.
The things on Facebook Marketplace, the
Tom,
lore
that's
of it.
genius.
See, you
Wait.
know, got to vertically integrate. I'm on Facebook Marketplace somewhat regularly. You know, there's some deals to be had, especially if you're kind of in a highly populated area. In New York City, people like are always moving, and they'll be like, "Oh, I have
Yeah.
this couch or this table that I can't take," and they'll put it for like $50. I'm in there.
Oh, this
Sign
is
me up.
great. This is great. I got assigned shares of AMC. Anyone want to
I-
take them off me?
Wait, Tom, have you ever sold anything? I don't have Facebook either.
I have not sold, but my fiance definitely has. She's a
Okay.
big Facebook Marketplace. My worst, the part I hate about it most is that you have to go and like meet the people. I'm like, this is awkward. Like, I don't know. I just wish there was like a delivery option, where I could just like
Yeah.
buy it and then they could just give it to somebody at Uber and they could like send it to me. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's more me being antisocial than
Well, it's got to
building
be
a bad
awkward if you're like
product.
haggling with the person, you know, back and forth, and you're like, "Can you drop it by $2?" And then you got to meet up, and they're like, "Oh, this piece of work." But yeah, I don't know. I remember the Apple event I was kind of following, and then it could be, you know, confirmation bias of people in my little pockets of the internet. But a lot of people are excited about the Hood event. They flew a lot of influencers and creators out there, and yeah, people be talking about stocks, and they want them to do it on platform, I guess. Let's flip over to some of the other headlines. Let's go to Oracle. Oracle, uh, interesting earnings readout yesterday. I think there was a lot of people, I think the CNBC headline said shocked. Larry Ellison is now about to be, or knocking on the door to be the richest person in the world. There he is, that handsome chap. We were just discussing before the show. He's 81 years old, 81 years young. But I guess, Tom, you want to break down quickly what we learned from the Oracle earnings yesterday?
Yeah, I think big picture, this is just you know, their order book rose by like 359% or whatever. So basically they have a $500 billion backlog of orders. I'm not sure how far out they're projecting that order book. I heard maybe like 3 or 4 years, whatever it is. But the point is, this is another AI theme that is just being capitalized on, right? People are looking for different ways to take advantage of this theme instead of buying NVIDIA or, you know, the classic plays. They're looking for kind of these ancillary things that might benefit. And I think Oracle was not one that people were paying too much attention to on the AI side. And so when they came out with this, you know, massive beat on their order book, it kind of validated that no, they are a player in this space, and that's why we're seeing the stock much higher. People are pricing it as if it's kind of an AI play now.
Yeah, it is one of those, you know, they not the flashiest of the bunch, but there you have it. Speaking of not having flash, let's talk about VFC odds. Let's talk about the North Face. These are retail brands that, I mean, I'm just looking back in high school. I only wore a North Face fleece every day of the year, including June. But you're spotting some interesting things on the technical side for that one. So let's quickly bounce over to that. And this is what we're gonna do today, guys, because we got Tom here. Tom covers all bases. We got Voz and the technicals. We're gonna hop around and hop in the chat also if there's something you want us to talk about or go back to. But let's jump on over to VFC for a sec.
I would love to. I mean, all the smart people are talking about AI, AI, AI. I think that's a crowded trade. Why not buy Timberlands? Because that is where the smart money is, everyone.
Love it.
Honestly, guys, this was a technical setup that I've been following, and obviously we have that consolidation. We're getting a bit of a breakout here and a retest of that breakout. You could see there's plenty of space for this to run. But what's interesting for me, there is the account Kook report. Shout out the cookie crisps out there that follow this crazy guy. But he is pretty good at hunting stocks that are for the long run, the marathon, not the race. So kind of antithesis of options trading, more looking at what stocks are going to be $100 in the next year or so. And I got to give him credit because when I saw the technicals in a stock ASTS, which I know has a cult following as well, they're in satellites. I liked this stock around $10. And then I started getting retweets from this Kook report, who's well known in the industry on Twitter. And lo and behold, the guy was right. Stock boomed up to $50 from $10 in just a matter of a few months. And now he's back at it. He said, "Hello, Voz. I am back. And I see you like VFC." So apparently, this stock that makes this company does North Face, Tim's. I think JanSport was another
Yeah.
one, Katie, right?
Hell
JanSport,
yeah.
shout out, mini pink backpack in early 2000s. So apparently this one has a lot of room to run. It's garnering a cult following as well in the Twitterverse. So this is
Interesting.
I find it interesting on that account, not just the technicals, but it looks like this one has a lot more to go.
Interesting.
Mhm.
All right. Tom, this one of interest to you. I also just dropped a link in the chat. Tim's are back, and it's chilly in New York, Vaz, and everyone's getting the Tim's out. And they have actually a Soho store. You can get them customized. They have a bunch of new, like I don't know.
That's
I
cool.
you know, there might be something outside of the technicals on this one. Not
Mhm.
investment advice, just cool sneaker. I guess boot sneakers. Tom, anything you see on this one in particular? I know it's probably a new and novel one for you, one you're not spending hours in a day, but curious if you have any thoughts.
Yeah, on the sentiment side, I don't think we're quite there yet. We'll need to see a much larger move or catalyst in order for, people on Stocktwits to start picking this up. What we typically see is like when we have these cases, people will start talking about it on Reddit, maybe on X. But as the price and the chatter kind of combine, that's when Stocktwits really comes into play. So yeah, if this starts to move to the upside and get some momentum, I wouldn't be surprised to see it trending on Stocktwits sometime shortly. Retail is really tough. There's a lot of there's a retail ETF XRT that tracks a lot of these companies, but there is a lot of independent company risk with companies, as we've talked about. A lot of it comes down to consumer trends, execution risk, et cetera. So you really have to do your homework here and understand, what is the kind of catalyst here, and what is the operating, structure of this company, and how it's going to support the price. I see you've got Lulu up. This is a classic example of people who have one that people have been trying to bottom fish for the last 200 300 points, and it really has not found any sort of traction. So curious your perspective here, Boz.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up Lululemon. This is one that I would like to continue to short. I'm getting a mixed reaction about that. Some think that's a garbage take. Some think that it's going to continue to go lower. My hot take is obviously it keeps gapping down. You have a, very symmetrical downward channel. But putting that aside, I think that Lululemon has too much competition. You have Yuri, Aloe, and it's giving me Victoria's Secret, where they were the leaders and then they didn't continue with they just kept doing their thing and they were ignoring the competition out there. And then they restructured too late. So this company needs a serious restructure. And I believe that when they kind of figure it out, it's going to be too late.
Yeah, it's funny how quickly that happens, and it goes back to Tom's point about the uniqueness of retail, how much taste and trends influence on a company by company basis. Because not 4 or 5 years ago, this was it. I live on the Upper East Side. There's a lot of like kids up there, and like every single girl had Lulu everything on for like a year, and then you just slowly. That's what I watched too. That's how I actually got put onto Celsius. Like back in the day, I'm like, why are all these kids drinking White Claws? And he's like, Celsius. But it's true. There's a ton of competition there. And yeah, you never know. Maybe they're going to hire Sydney Sweeney or something and try to claw their way out of this. But I think the Victoria's Secret's a great example of oversaturation. And then it's almost like there's pushback because it's too popular. So interesting one to watch there. Sticking on retail more broadly, let's go back to Apple for a second. Um, Not that they're a retail brand, but they have a retail presence, so I guess that worked. They unveiled $1,000 iPhone Air, very thin device, titanium ceramic A19 chip, the thinnest ever. Uh, the stock sold the news. Apple down slightly, the only loser in the Mag 7. A lot of commentary around just the presentation of the event. Yeah, next to Robinhood, it did feel like a sign of the times that Robinhood had a little more flash and pizzazz, it seemed, than Apple. They teased some other things. When I had Michael Parik on yesterday or Monday, uh, he mentioned, he didn't expect them to make any big AI announcements. He did expect these phones to have a lot more storage to enable more AI applications. Tom, what's the vibe check in the Stocktwits community following this? Because this has been one that a lot of people have been a little souring on a bit as the summer progressed into the fall.
Yeah, I think heading into this event, is prices have run up quite a bit in anticipation that kind of expectations were pretty low, and if they said something that was, even somewhat decent on the AI front, that the stock would pop. We didn't really get that. It was a bit of a snooze fest. You got a thinner phone, you've got more storage, you've got. Interestingly, Duolingo fell like 10%
Mm.
intraday because of the new AirPods can translate for you. So I think there's a lot of like, I don't know, gimmicky things, but nothing that's really going to move the needle. It's just incremental updates as usual.
The Duolingo piece was interesting because I didn't make that connection. In my mind, like the act of learning a language and being able to speak is so much different than the utility of quickly translating.
Yeah, they're not related at all.
Yeah.
This is just a pure like algo driven, market where it's like,
Mhm.
oh, it reads this headline, Apple's getting into translation space, like sell the stock down. And so
Yeah.
we saw the stock close basically flat yesterday. We'll see how it does today. But I mean, Duolingo is already down, from 550 to 250 ahead of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we started to see some, bottom fishers here and trying to catch a knife. But yeah, totally unrelated. But anytime you have a big event and a big name, in the headlines, these algorithms are just gonna, quickly make decisions. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. I think in this case, they're probably wrong.
Yeah. Voz, is there an Apple trade here for you at all? Is this at all interesting to you or you're focused elsewhere?
I don't think Apple's going to zero. I think it's just, old and in the way
Mm.
of cooler stuff. But the stock is obviously holding an uptrend right now, but it doesn't look anything interesting for me at this time.
Yeah. Um, well, we'll continue to track them. I thought it was I kind of thought it was baller that like they had such like there was a lot of pressure on them to like go big this event, and they were like, "Now we're good." And I kind of respect that. Like they could have had like fireworks and changed the whole thing up, and they're like, "Whatever, we're Apple. Here's the phone. Like you're gonna buy it. Bye." Uh,
Yeah, I mean, Apple has
like
always just like done their own thing, which
yeah.
which is great, but people do get impatient, and especially when there are a lot more shiny objects out there in the market right now, people are just,
Mhm.
trending towards those as opposed to, sticking around for Tim Cook and Apple to finally make their splash. I'm
Mhm.
sure they're working on tons of stuff behind the scenes. At some point, they're going to surprise us. It just wasn't the case this time.
They need
Yep.
to make cooler, smart things. I saw an idea circulating like an Apple toilet.
Who is asking for that, boss?
I don't know. I don't know, but the fact that I know, you guys need to know too now. We're all in
You
this
know what?
together.
Someone will buy it because I saw a tweet too, Vaz. Someone was like, it was a picture of someone with those. Sorry, they're stupid. The Vision Pro goggles. It was like Apple dropped these a couple of years ago and then never talked about them again.
It's so true.
Do you remember though, guys, when that came out? I don't know if it was this case in Miami, Vaz, but in New York, Tom, people were walking around the street fully wearing those things, and I was like, oh man. Like, what are we doing here?
What happened to those? Those are like the drones in New Jersey. What happened to
I
that?
don't know.
I don't think it was. Were people really walking around or what?
Yes. Yes, I saw a guy walking around Central Park like with the things fully on, and I'm just like, it's dark right now. It's dark times. Like,
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
Yeah.
My vibe is I think that was a lot of just like clout chasing. If you're gonna
Yeah.
spend, it's kind of like the Cybertruck thing where like you don't really want a Cybertruck, but
Yeah.
you kind of want to make the statement that you're a Tesla
Yeah.
Musk fanboy. Same thing with the goggles. If you're gonna spend $4,000 or whatever they were, like you're gonna get your clout out of it. Like get out there and make some TikToks with it.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. It is like a flex. I don't know. That was quite the time. Well, speaking of nerdy things, gaming, GameStop, they had their earnings. And their profits were up. The stock is up on the news. It kind of, I don't say it surprised people, but you never know what to expect from these guys. Tom, when you were on last time, you were like, they need to do something other than invest in Bitcoin. So we did
Yeah.
get some updates from those guys. Any community reaction to this, Tom, in the Stocktwits community or elsewhere that surprised you or that stood out?
Yeah, I think people are generally excited. Obviously, seeing the profit number, come in well. I think they're at the point where they can no longer cut costs in their business, and so really any incremental gains coming from here are going to come from revenue acceleration. The positive was that in the last quarter, their hardware and accessories revenue jumped from 345 million the previous quarter to 592 million. A lot of that was due to the Nintendo Switch 2 kind of upgrade cycle, which was positive. However, their software revenue and collectibles revenue were both down quarter over quarter.
Ooh.
So it's kind of mixed results. You can't, similar to how AMC tries to rely on Hollywood blockbusters to kind of bail them out each quarter. You can't rely on new system upgrade cycles to kind of drive your growth. It's too external. So I still think they need to figure out an internal way to either get additional momentum in their collectibles business or something else to kind of supplement what they're seeing from kind of the console makers. With that being said, I mean, they'll take what they can get. It's a good time to be kind of in the hardware business if you're catering to the Nintendo Switch fans. So yeah, it was positive overall, but in order for them to maintain this momentum, they're really going to have to figure out a way to sustain kind of interest in their products without needing a new system
Yeah.
coming out every quarter.
The call out on collectibles is noteworthy because I think last quarter Ryan Cohen kind of lifted that up as like this great place of hope for them. They really have a firm belief that that's going to be a growth driver. And I believe the collectibles market is doing pretty good right now on like the macro side of that, trading cards, sports cards. So that to me stands out because that was going to be one of those things that to your point, Tom, got them off this reliance on specific game and product releases.
Yeah, I listen, by no means am I saying that collectibles revenue was unimpressive. But if you look over the last 5 years, it's basically, it's very volatile. It's been, 227 million is essentially like the mid range of where it's been over the last 5 years, depending on the quarter. So what people are looking for is a breakout momentum that suggests, okay, great, we've seen this jump from 200 to 400, and this is sustainable because of X, Y, and Z. And I just don't think management is doing a really good job of communicating how they're driving momentum in that segment. And so people are just left wondering, like, is this another one-hit wonder quarter, or is there real kind of like business development happening here?
And quick, Tom, I remember in the past you told me they weren't doing earnings calls all the time. They were just dropping the report. Is that did they do a
Yeah,
call yesterday or was it?
that's a good question. I'll be honest, I don't know.
I feel like we
I
would have gotten more quotables if they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did. And like last
Interesting.
quarter, they redid their investor relations site to kind of match Berkshire in the very kind of simple,
Yeah.
minimalist way, if you want
Yeah.
to call it that. So I don't think they did a
Oh,
press.
they literally ripped off the Berkshire.
Yeah,
Wait,
I mean,
what? When did they change? This is new.
Yeah, this was like a couple months ago, last quarter, before the
Is
release.
this a
But
joke?
no,
Sorry, I'm like
they're
offended by this.
cutting their costs on the website
You
too.
can't
They don't
do
need
this
anything
unless you're
fancy.
literally Berkshire Hathaway and you're like, we do not give a damn about our website. We make money. Voz, were you ever in on the GameStop trade like back in the day or
Yes.
currently? You were?
Yes, but I just liked the chart. I had no idea what was going on out
Yeah.
there in the ether until it started exploding. I got out way too early, and yeah, but
Well, at least you were in it at one point. I was.
it feels good to be in it. And I was
Yeah.
also in it recently. They had another short a squeeze. It didn't go to like $100, but I think they squeezed it up to about 40 maybe a few months ago.
Yeah. And people
Yeah, that
that-
was around their Bitcoin treasury
yeah.
purchases. That was
Yes.
their latest gimmick.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tom's a fan, if you can't tell. Tom
Really?
gets,
Sorry,
Tom gets
crap,
a little
yeah.
sassy when GameStop comes.
Let's clip that one. I'm sure that'll be
Clip
good on the
it.
forums.
Well,
But yeah,
okay.
I mean,
Go
the
ahead,
stock
Tom.
is already fading intraday. I mean, it's given back half of its aftermarket gain. So again, I like, don't shoot the messenger here. I'm just expressing the concerns that the market has. From a technical perspective, it looks good. Like the low 20s, the $19 to $22 range has been support for this stock for a very long time. So clearly there's a floor there that you can trade against, and people certainly are. But I'm just talking about the pure business fundamentals. Yes, this was a good quarter, but they still need to communicate what their longer term plan is to not rely on Nintendo or Sony or any other
Yeah.
console maker to just bail them out every quarter.
Well, when you guys are both in different communities, like both in obviously the FinTwit community, Tom, you're deep in Stocktwits as is Voz, but Voz has your own members in your own community. Is this one people are still talking about often? Because I feel like in my feeds, I don't see it as much. I see Opendoor everywhere. It could just be because I follow Eric Jackson and he's just retweeting. But is this like how much attention span do retail investors have for like multiple stocks like this?
I think that seeing other stocks have the same reaction as GameStop used to, there's short squeezes all the time. Like you said, there's Opendoor, whatever that stock is, stock du jour. So I think that people and traders are more focused on those now and not hyping up GME and obsessed and defending that one and AMC. I think that they're on to the next popular girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there will be, cult followers that stick with the stock long term, that believe in the fundamentals, that are just holding it and maybe adding on dips. But if we're talking about the active trader, they're going where the volatility and the momentum is. And so that's why we see kind of the resurgence of different meme stocks happening at various points in their life cycle, is because once there's momentum again, the traders don't really care if the fundamentals have changed or not. They're in it for the movement. And so, yeah, maybe this earnings report will get, GameStop back on people's radars for the time being. It's got a gap around 25-ish that, if it can start to fill, maybe gets people a bit more interested. But yeah, people are looking for movement. They're looking for catalysts. And if you don't have one at the moment, there's really no reason to be paying attention.
On the heels of that, I do have a stock that I think is going to squeeze, and we've been tracking this. CoreWeave CRWV. Yes, it's AI.
It's
so it has all
AI.
the bells and whistles and the hot keywords. This one is, first of all, the pattern that it's shaped is very bullish. You have a W. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you guys were supposed to visualize this.
I was visualizing it.
Yeah, I mean, hello.
Some of us have imagination.
I'm manifesting over here.
Yeah, some of us are free thinkers.
Can you
yeah, let's show the
this
chart.
to go higher for me, because I am in a call spread on this one, but full disclosure. But I was watching big money flow on this. The options are getting hot, and it looks like it's shaping up for a squeeze on that perspective. You have traders buying way out of the money calls. So that's interesting as well. That's kind of what happened to GameStop. we are breaking out of that W-shaped correction and above a lot of resistance here. You could see we have our moving averages. These are, I like to call them obstacle courses. So it got through those obstacles and you have the path to least resistance to the upside. So when you mix the lack of volume to the upside, that kind of creates that falling knife situation, but more of a throwing knife situation. And then you have the out of the money call buyers with size. This stock is set to squeeze, already up 10 points this morning, but I'm seeing some crazy out of the money calls out there.
Yeah, CoreWeave was one of those IPOs earlier in the year that would really sort of set off in motion a flurry of IPOs. I know Klarna's getting ready to go out. We'll talk about that in a bit. Curious, Tom, on your view, or either of this setup that Voz is showing, or just from the community, is this one retail investors are still talking about, still excited about?
Yeah, as a technician, I love these types of setups where you get kind of new marginal lows and then it quickly reverses. It creates a lot of FOMO and forcing people to adjust their positions very quickly. Right now, sentiment's pretty neutral on Stocktwits. With that being said, with today's move, this will probably be back on people's radar given the resurgence in momentum. So keep an eye on it, but I think there's a lot of other big movers hitting the tape right now that people are just kind of caught up with. A lot of these new crypto treasury companies that have popped up over the last 3-4 days have really started to suck attention away from some of the other meme stock-esque or short squeeze-esque type stocks.
Yeah, Tom, are you talking about Octo?
Yeah, there's Octo, there's QMMM, there's another one, ASST. I mean, there's just too many to track at this point. And we're just seeing companies come out and choose any other coin that somebody else has not chosen yet. And you'll basically, be sent to the promised land. So lots of momentum here. Vaz, I'm curious on your on your end from a day trader or swing trader's perspective, like how do you manage risk in these? Do you even touch them, or are these not names that you typically want to get involved with?
So I do like to get involved depending on how the trade is shaping up. So I will give you 2 examples side by side, but not side by side. I have to just do chart by chart. Wow, CoreWeave is shooting up 6 points out of the gates. Nice job.
I'm going to attribute that to my manifesting. So
I will. Tom, you are my lucky charm. You are my labubu.
There we go. Happy to help.
All right. So you mentioned ASST.
Who picked that ticker, by the way? AST? Is that real? Sorry,
I mean,
I'm like
asset
12.
entities.
I'm 12 years old, but I'm like, if there were a bunch of people sitting around a table and they're like, yeah, who wants AST? And everyone's like, yep, AST. Anyway, continue, Voz.
That's probably why it's up, to be honest.
I know.
The weirder, asset. Hey, it is asset entities, so
it makes sense. Yeah.
It's your assets.
If you look at it and you're not, the maturity of a 12-year-old, you'll see that. If you're me, you see AST. So let's look at the chart.
So I like ASST for the way that it's trading right now. You have recently, back in May, it tried to break out and it failed. And one of my favorite charts to trade is a failed breakout, because what happens is when you retake what failed, usually you'll see more of a squeeze out of that. You could see people that were bag holding and then they're, letting go of their shares. So that could quickly be a resistance, or you're going to gain the momentum. In this case, if we can break over this cluster F here in ASST, you could see this scream higher, probably up to about 15 points. I have to see how it closes, but guys out there that are looking to trade a, it stock, if this can close above that 13 area or gain that momentum above that 13 area, this one is set to go higher. I like it. One I don't like is QMM for the meantime. And the reason is, as a day trader, one thing that we like to avoid are wicks. There's that saying, oh my gosh, they got trapped in the wick. This is probably, the day trading jail right here. If you try to catch that momentum and then they sell it and it just loses it. And you could see when you trade wicks like this, what can happen the next day. This thing was at 300 yesterday and now it's down to 90. So I like to avoid wicks, just as everyone's best friend out there. Avoid wicks and look at something that can give you that momentum, not trap you in it while everyone laughs at you.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard the saying like you
Yeah.
don't want to trade the backside of like a move. Like you want to be involved on the run up when things are trending well, but then as soon as that trend breaks or that momentum starts to slow, you want to let it settle out and not try to be a hero buying it, buying the dip as it comes down.
Yeah, exactly. Just avoid wicks. Avoid wicks, but look at for setups like this. These are golden. So you can. There's one for everybody out there. You can trade meme crypto asset stocks and make money on them. It is true.
All right. Well, while we were in our deep dive, the market opened. There was no bell, which I honestly was kind of nice because usually it like shocks me when it happens on the show when I like fall off my chair. But you're welcome. S&P up slightly on Oracle's shocking to the positive earnings report as well as the PPI data. So that broke this morning. The core PPI U.S. wholesale prices unexpectedly fell 0.1% in August, and this was a big contrast to expectations that it would increase. So excluding food and energy, the core PPI slipped, and that signaled some easing cost pressures, giving the Fed more room to cut rates at next week's meeting. I feel like we've been talking about this September meeting since forever,
Yeah.
since August, but since before that. And markets are already pricing in 100% chance of the first cut since 2024. So tariffs pushing up costs in pockets of the markets like tobacco, job weakness, which we can get into later. A lot of signals there. But Tom, any insight? I know this just broke on this wholesale data that came out this morning.
Yeah, I mean the Stocktwits community and just the market in general has been betting on a rate cut next week, so I don't think that's a surprise. I think the weak labor market data last week basically locked in that we'll get a rate cut, and this kind of opens the door to even more dovish language from the Fed to hint at either a further cut in a future meeting or kind of set the pace for what's coming next year. So yeah, I think this is positive. We're seeing the market trade up on it. We're seeing risk assets, Ethereum, other cryptocurrencies start to move on this. Yeah, the market is expecting the rate cut, and now it's all about CPI tomorrow. Does the PPI read through, basically translate to lower consumer prices as well? So we'll see. But overall, like the bond market saying, 100% chance of a rate cut next week. Some people are betting that it'll be 50 basis points and not 25. I don't really think we'll get there. We're not seeing enough weakness to justify that, but yeah, 25 basis points is definitely the base case.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next question. Which way people are leaning on the amount, but it sounds like most people think it's gonna be the 25 bips.
Yeah, we did a poll, I think, last week, and we should probably do an updated one. But yeah, I think 75-ish% of people that responded were looking for 25 basis points. I just don't think there's enough. If you do a 50 cut, it kind of sends the message that like, oh man, like we're a little behind the curve and we're nervous. And so
Yeah,
I don't think the Fed wants to put itself in a position where it's sending a kind of
right.
emergency message or signal out. So they have time. Labor market is weakening, but not collapsing. And so I think they're going to be patient and kind of go where the data
Yeah.
tells them to go.
Interesting. Yeah, there's the decision, and then there's the planning for the reaction to the decision. Makes it all the tougher. On the CPI, Tom, historically, is it usually the case that it follows a similar pattern as PPI, or what are people expecting out of that readout tomorrow?
Yeah, directionally it should be very similar. But yeah, I'm sure there have been cases where it's not, but yeah, directionally it should be, you know,
Yeah.
uh pretty telling.
And Voz, how do you think about all these, economic external factors going on, the Fed meeting coming up, these readouts? Does this impact your day to day and kind of what you're looking at all, or is it sort of outside of what you're focused on?
It does impact the day to day, especially pre-market data like PPI, CPI. This is exciting to set up your levels and the day. For instance, I'm looking for a bit of a pullback here, and I need to see as we are breaking out. I need to see this hold. If we pull back just like we did on non-farm payrolls and close lower today, like by the tune of, I'm looking at the S&P 500 ETF SPY. If we give all of these gains up, again, that's showing that the market is it is toppy here. And as we approach this September Fed meeting, if anyone says it one more time, we're going to have to take shots, because it's like you guys said, that's what everyone's talking about. But you're looking for these catalysts to see if the market will continue higher and continue that trend, or if we're going to get the pullback that usually happens August, September, October, or November. So it wasn't August. Is it going to be September? That's what I like to watch.
All right. And as you were going over that, Oracle's up 30%, which they're having their best day since 1999.
Good for them.
I'm still waiting for my best day since 1999. I feel like life was a lot easier then. No responsibilities. Yes, I was alive in 1999. I was very much alive. But yeah, Oracle, damn.
You survived Y2K?
Oh yeah, I did.
I would
Yeah.
love to go back and talk to myself.
I wouldn't. I was so annoying. I was like, Vaz, this is how annoying I was. Like, I shouted out a video on TRL once. Like, I was one of those screaming, like, sync. Like, I was like, just like, ugh. Whenever I see people
Wait,
from
what is TRL?
Oh my God, are you kidding me, Tom?
I have no idea.
Total
good.
Request Live. They used to count down music videos every day at 3:30 p.m. after
protect Tom.
school.
Okay, vibes. My
You
bad.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a whole thing. And this was like, honestly, this was like music videos were like the OG meme stocks, because people would like form armies around them. They would go online and like vote a million times to get their video to the top. And it was always like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, like just back and forth basically every day for like however many years. But
Nice.
maybe
The
that was
original trending.
the original trending. Yeah. And I don't know.
Well,
I guess people don't make videos anymore.
I still follow Al Roker to his house saying with a "Hi Mom" sign behind him. So I don't know. He's like, leave me alone, you psycho.
Wait, explain.
No. Oh, you don't do that? I thought that's what everyone in New York does. Okay,
No.
my bad. My bad. Sorry, never mind.
Oh wait, I
Off the
see.
record.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I was like, wait, Al Roker lives in Miami, and also, why is Vaz following him? Like, I don't.
Yeah, I pictured you like out in the suburbs, like him pulling
No.
into his driveway, and you're just like there. But then I realized like New York City is a little different. So
He's right here. I kidnapped him.
They do that.
Get
Do
down.
they
That's funny.
still do that? They still do that on the Today Show.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, to bring it back to markets, we got Eric Jackson doing that with Drake right
It's
now.
true.
So whatever, we've come full circle. This is full on 1999 again.
I don't think that guy sleeps. I really don't. He's just he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Vaz, we kind of touched on Opendoor yesterday. Was that, I forget what you said. Was that one you're getting in on or watching, or kind of?
I was already in it. I'm
Okay.
still waiting. I mean, they did that offering, so usually that punishes a stock, but it's holding up pretty decently for that. So it's still there. The interest is still there. We just need to hold this consolidation, and I would like to see a little more volume develop here to sustain course higher.
Yeah. On the momentum of that, Tom, what do you in the community? People, do you get a sense it's building, it's growing, kind of how it felt GameStop, or is it getting to the point like we were talking yesterday with Jake, where it's like everyone who's in is in, and you're just like waiting for the next wave, but sometimes that doesn't come very quickly. Is there any indication of sort of what phase of that cycle Opendoor's at?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think it's getting a little tired. You can see that both from the momentum of the stock, but also the activity we're seeing on Stocktwits. Message volume is certainly off its highs. Don't get me wrong; it's still a top trending ticker.
Yeah.
It's one of the most followed on our sites daily. But there's just other stuff in play right now. And when you don't have clear momentum in Opendoor from at least a swing perspective, people are looking elsewhere. And I think we're at the point where, Eric Jackson, bless his heart, has done as much as he possibly can to really bring this to the attention of management. And now they need to come out and say, hey, here's what we're doing. Like, here's the plan to keep you guys around. Like, don't sell this and go trade the latest, crypto meme coin stock, because here's what we have planned. So I think this is a bit in no man's land until we get an additional catalyst. I saw like Rob Schneider of all people was like tweeting about it. He was like, I'm buying Opendoor or whatever, and tweeting Eric Jackson. And I'm like, all right, we've reached peak. Like, if Rob Schneider is tweeting about it, we've probably reached the widest audience we can at this point. So I think memes and kind of attention have done their job to put it on people's radar. Now it's management's job to kind of solidify that attention and turn those people into shareholders. If they don't strike soon, I think this is going to fall by the wayside very quickly.
Oh my! Imagine going for Drake and getting Rob Schneider. That feels very relatable to me for some reason. Like on the app, I'm like, yeah, I'll go for it. And then it's like, okay.
I mean, everyone's tweeting the "You Can Do It," from what was that movie? The
Waterboy.
Yeah,
you can do it.
Oh my God.
Exactly. So
he also had this sketch on SNL. I mean, Tom, if you don't know TRL, you're not going to know this, but it was basically him and Sandler, and they're at like this Italian restaurant, and the waiters come out, and they have like no pants on. I don't remember anything else.
The Pepper Boys.
Oh yeah.
The Pepper Boys. And they were getting really into giving the pepper.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'll have to research that.
We used to be a country. We really did. Like, I don't know, but hey, maybe Oracle's back, Rob Schneider's back. We're back, baby.
Opendoor just needs to throw some bras at Drake and he'll get his attention.
I don't know if Drake's coming around. I don't know if he's coming around, but hey, I keep trying.
We've seen weirder things. Who knows?
We've definitely seen way weirder things.
We're about to see some weird things. Get this. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, wait, what happened?
I actually
breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. I do have a breaking stock. Ooh.
Yes.
We are going to look at Galaxy, everyone. If you guys can look at Stocktwits and see if this one is.
Yes, we had Mike Novogratz on Galaxy Digital.
I just love. Yeah, it's another AI. I believe they're more finance based. Yes. But the chart is taking over the 40 period moving average, which is one of my favorite moving averages in terms of back testing. Not the 50, the 40, everyone. Add it to your charts. You're welcome. We are battling a point of control, a big area of resistance, but I think that seeing that it take over those obstacles with our moving averages, and we are ready to circle back is like the theme of the day. One of my favorite patterns again, that consolidation that failed, they're trying to bring it back in action. And so if we can break that, Galaxy is set to squeeze again. You also have a nice positive cross on MACD and decent volume coming in here.
Yeah, Galaxy is interesting. They're trying to be like the Goldman Sachs of crypto. And the guy running it, Mike Novogratz, is a big audience. He was on the show, super animated guy, but he was a good interview. It was very like candid and open. Tom, and the community, is this one people you're seeing on your side, data showing momentum there as well?
Yeah, we're definitely seeing an uptick in the last couple of days. People are bullish right now. Message volume is high. So like, yeah, as the momentum continues, this will definitely get on people's radar. This is kind of the broader part of the broader like crypto theme as well. So I think right now the focus still is on Ethereum. Could I share my screen? Let me try something new here.
I guess never shared my screen on this. Tom. You're only the editor-in-chief of the entire
I'm getting a little wild
operation.
here.
Yeah.
Let's see what I can do here.
He's hyped up after talking about GameStop.
I told you we'd see something crazy.
Like the Hulk.
Okay, so we've been talking about Ethereum and altcoins for a while, right? 2021 highs are kind of where Ethereum, Ripple, and a couple of the other altcoins are kind of settling right now and trying to break out above. if we zoom in to the daily chart, right, you have a very clear area of kind of support here for Ethereum. 1, 2, 3 tests in the 3,900, 4,000 area, and then we've settled back above it. So for the last 2-3 weeks, we've had this kind of pullback, but volume has been light. People have just been waiting for a reason to get back involved. I think this lighter than expected PPI report and just overall Fed cut sentiment in general is kind of reviving the risk taking in Ethereum. So or sorry, in the crypto market in general. So Ethereum's regaining momentum here. I think Galaxy and some other crypto related plays will probably be in focus. The first stop, if this holds, is kind of those former all-time highs, and really people are looking for prices to exceed that to show that the next leg of this crypto bull run is starting and that altcoins are going to be the leader there. So keep an eye on Ethereum. That's kind of what I'm watching from a perspective of momentum in the crypto market. Interestingly enough, if we look at Ethereum's sentiment, it's actually at kind of like multi-month lows. To me, I kind of take that as a contrarian signal where people have moved on to other things because of the last few weeks being quite frustrating. Ethereum has gone nowhere, but a lot of other stocks are moving. So I think people have kind of forgotten about Ethereum. They're looking for other opportunities, and now we're seeing momentum emerge. So there's a lot of potential for people to come back into this one and say, "Oh, I forgot about this, but it's got momentum now, so I'm gonna get back involved here." All
right. Eyes on Ethereum. And one thing we didn't get to, guys, is Stocktoberfest. That's a not a good transition from Ethereum at all. Where it went Ethereum to the best week of your life in Coronado, California. It's at a beautiful resort. It's October 20th, 22nd. You can go to the Stocktwits website. You can learn more. You can get a ticket. I'm going to be there. Tom's going to be there. Olivia, if you're not going, we're going to bully you into being there. It's going to be a good time. The theme is obviously Oktoberfest, but stocks, if you didn't put that together. But there's really good mix of just like chilling, hanging out, meeting with other traders, investors, IR folks, analysts. But also there's sessions for both traders and people in the financial services industry. So Tom, you've been a few times, right? What's the vibe there?
Yeah, it's definitely chill because of Coronado, obviously. With that being said, this is a great place to network. We're all online and we're all part of this community for the reason of making connections, doing business together, learning from each other. And, you can make really good connections online, but it's really in person is where you solidify them. So this is a great chill event where, you've got a variety of people across the trading and investing space. You've got company CEOs, you've got investor relations departments. This is where the conversation is happening in real life. And I think it's a very important and interesting time for, markets in general and the retail investor and trader. So I'm super excited. This year is actually my 10-year anniversary of like the first one that I went to. So I'm stoked to be there and can't wait to see everybody from the community there as well.
Exciting. There's also a golf tournament. Voz, do you golf?
In my mind.
Yeah, I don't either. I want to. There's no way. The hand-eye coordination's not there. Love the outfits. Love the vibes.
I love the outfits too. And it's so trendy right now.
It is. Yeah. It's just not one of those things you can, like, it's not like bowling where you just go and kind of wing it and no one knows. Like, people know if you suck at golf. It's very clear.
Yeah, I tried padel or paddle, which is a trending.
Oh,
have you guys? Yeah, it's very trendy in Florida right now.
Yeah,
I realized I have no hand-eye coordination and I quit.
So padel's the one with it's like a glass box
Yes.
with no. So that seems dangerous because the ball's just like flying off of surfaces. Like that's got to be a lot harder.
It's crazy. It's like a video game.
Okay, interesting. Is it
Is it like
ball?
squash?
It is.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, that's not for me. I did
like-
pickleball once. I liked it, but you know.
The closest I got to golfing was I bought 2 Top Golf gift cards at Costco, and they were heavily discounted, but I have not used them yet, so I will get on that
Oh, you
eventually. It's been like 3 years.
you gotta practice before Coronado. I did see, speaking of the market, I think Kelsey added prediction markets for pickleball leagues, which
Oh
is
my-
like, it's crazy. Like a lot of like LeBron owns a pickleball team. Like the celebrities, I thought this was gonna go away. It's not. It's not going away. But you could now, but I'm like, maybe like I want to get more into the prediction markets, and part of me is like, maybe I'll get into something that not a lot of the other people are and try to get good at it. Like if I really study these pickleball teams, I could probably, navigate this better than, prediction markets for the NFL.
So you still feel like you won the sport without playing it?
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
I feel like this is like the
You.
classic thing you do where it's like, I'm just going to go to the lowest common denominator and try to be the best out of like the mediocre people that are there versus trying to compete with the best in the big dogs. I don't know. Just
Yeah,
goes to show
you
you
gotta
can.
start small.
Yeah, you do. You do. All right, guys, we are nearing the end of our time today. I'm curious, any final thoughts? We're at halfway through the week. We got some data coming in. We got some more data coming in. We got the Fed meeting. Like biggest thing, on your mind. You wake up, you get ready to take on the day. Tom, what's sort of dominating your brain space as we gear up towards the rest of the weekend? Then I'll kick it over to Voz.
Yeah, it's risk on in the markets. People are still looking for opportunities. Again, to the tune of Oracle, people are looking for off the beaten path opportunities, things that are not necessarily so mainstream. And then on the crypto side, we've obviously got all of these crypto treasury companies trying to come to market and capture attention while they can. So lots of volatility. It's a great trading environment for folks. And investors are continuing to position for rate cuts and higher equity and crypto prices.
All right, Voz, how about you? Are you squarely in Timberland land, or what's top of mind over there?
I've never worn Tim's. I have been stepped on by one before, and let me tell you, would not wish my worst enemy. I think I'm gonna go golfing in Tim's. I think
You
that's what
should
we're gonna
rock
do.
those in Miami.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
will.
think people do that. That's a look.
I'm gonna start it now with my rugbies.
Do it.
For today, I'm just looking for the for SPY, the S&P 500, the market to hold this gap up. I am looking perhaps to do a mini short. If you guys, my day traders out there who like 0 DTE, anything below 652.88, I'll be looking to buy the 652 puts for a quick point lower. But right now the bulls are in control, and if they can hold that level, we'll probably see a new high.
All right. Well, to be continued tomorrow when Voz is back on the show. 3 in a row. Let's go. And Tom, I know you're off to an event, so we'll see you back here next week. Tomorrow we got Voz on the show, and also Brent Kentwell from eToro. He always brings fresh insights from their platform, which are always very interesting to see kind of the data they're showing on their investing platform as well. So we will be back here tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Voz. And we'll see you guys tomorrow.